Hi, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. If you're new, then please do like and subscribe down below and click the little notification bell if you haven't done so already. That makes sure that you keep updated with everything. I'm coming to you today with an oracle reading for the collective. So anyone who's watching this video should be able to resonate with it in some way. The cards are flying out. It's been a few days, so they're ready. Okay. I'm really interested to see, I feel like a really exciting energy with this reading, and it was sort of just a spur of the moment, now is the time sort of feeling for me to read for you. Okay. Too many. I'd love to know how you're doing, and as you listen to the reading, if anything resonates, I'd love to know. It's always interesting to me when I get private messages or comments on anything and people say, oh, I know exactly what you're going through, because just how cool is that, you know? Awesome. So it's going to be a really, really exciting, this feels like actually a 2-week or so reading. So you may find some of the stuff doesn't happen this week, and it's sort of, yeah, even I'm hearing 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, I'm excited to dive in. You know, I get a little bit of my own readings through, as I'm channeling, as I'm talking. Sometimes I get my own messages. So I feel like this is one that's going to relate in some way. So first we have warrior. Light attributes are strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. So this is a really powerful, very epic light attribute. Shadow attribute is trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. So this is something that I've actually heard with a lot of clients lately, is that we're needing a certain level of strength to face the last crumbling away of our ego, or we're facing a bit of a harder battle with our ego and our identity, so who we think we are. We're facing a lot of that. And we're getting really easily bothered by lack of integrity within ourselves and also around us. I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about someone in their lives, you know, anyone, not quite getting something, not taking action, questioning morals, whatever it is you're seeing. Okay, then we have prostitute, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So this is, again, about integrity and doing what we feel called to do and not just what we're told to do, or not what we're expected to do, or what we thought we would do. Is interesting. The shadow attribute says places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. So I am definitely feeling there's a lot of this shadow side for a lot of people, feeling like you're placing your material possessions, material gain, your security in many ways, even if it's emotional security. Like a lot of people are feeling as though they need to hold back in order to self-preserve or to protect themselves. But the thing is, the warrior actually shows up with full energy and full power. It does feel like some of this discipline, it's like a dual-edged sword, right? So you're using a lot of discipline to be working towards a goal and working hard towards something, but sort of questioning whether it entirely aligns with your morals and entirely aligns with where you'd like to go. And in many ways, we may have some parts that are absolutely aligned and some parts which really, really don't fit. And that may be the same path, that you still have to weigh out both of those things happening at the same time. I hope that makes sense. It feels like it makes sense. I'm sure if it needed to resonate, it would. So placing material considerations and security above self-empowerment. So it definitely feels like it's a lot of duality. It's the avoiding of and the conquering of the ego at the same time. So if you're feeling really heightened emotions, like you keep flipping between like hot and cold, you're excited and then you're like really feeling dull, or you feel confident and then you feel really not sure of yourself, then maybe think about this duality between these two. Wow, okay. We have some really interesting, there must be something to do with romance in this pile today, in this reading. dilettante. It says, delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So a lot of this is about questioning what you're standing on. Maybe you're questioning conventions, money in general, how much money you need based on what you thought you needed, how much money you need before you do a certain thing, you know? Okay, I'm seeing the garbage truck outside, and it's the first time I've seen it since living at this new beach house. So I'm feeling as though I need to address it. So I'm feeling as though it's a sign that you're actually cleaning up and taking out garbage and refuse, like you're removing that which doesn't belong anymore, and that which is now trash to you. It's just not useful to you anymore. Okay, the shadow attribute is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. So acting as if you've got it figured out is part of that ego. Admitting that you are excited about working on whatever it is or working towards whatever it is you're looking for is much easier than saying, I'm so disappointed with where I'm at, right? So a lot of the times we like beef it up. But I think what we're being guided to do here is hold both of those things in equal regard. Both of them are true. This and that are true. That was in a card recently, actually. It's a dolphin. So if dolphins are important to you anyway, or dolphins have any significance to you, I know what they mean for me. This and that are true was on that card. Okay. Very interesting. I've been like hesitating saying this last one because it's also quite an intense energy. And so these archetype cards, we got some really intense and powerfully magnetic or seductive cards. So here's the Don Juan. Oh, this was the dilettante, by the way. I really like that card. Okay. Don Juan. Dun, dun, dun. The light attribute spotlights your positive seductive qualities, so how magnetic you are, what you're drawing towards you, and also your ability to curate a situation. I think there's some sort of power about connection with this group, so really embracing that side of yourself and not acting as though it's an evil manipulation. I'm feeling really drawn to the light, so it's a positive thing. Often in the world, we're shamed for attracting something our way. And really, it's a beautiful thing to magnetize and to attract. And that's an exchange of energy, really. You give out and things come back to you, right? So it's a positive thing, truly. The shadow attribute is using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. So I'm curious whether this is you or someone around you, whether there is some sort of hidden agenda somewhere. It's often hard to bring that up with someone in a way that feels natural. So if you feel as though there's a hidden agenda, I would say really think about whether or not you need to know that agenda. Is that something you're prying for information for, or is it a lack of trust you have with that person that maybe needs to be addressed in another way? The Don Juan, I really am feeling it's a lot of it is about this ego battle and maybe some sort of some sort of story where there was deceit, but mostly deceit with self. I'm feeling that's really what I'm feeling. We have only a couple more weeks here of this energy sort of riding out. It definitely feels like there's multiple people in this group who are very challenged by finances and feeling as though they're really not sure if they're doing enough, and also starting to shift what they want. So if you were focusing solely on career before, that's starting to shift outwards at this time. And it's not a problem to focus on career or on family or on health or on your studies. It's not a problem to do one priority focus at any given time, but it's true that if we stay in that for too long, we can feel a little bit lost or detached from ourselves. Okay, so keepers of the light, we have soul flame. So if you're feeling as though this is relating to you, if you feel like you are in a soul flame, either twin flame or soulmate, any of those kind of connections, This says rediscover a lost part of yourself. So that relates to what I was just saying about feeling as though we've lost a part of ourselves and not feeling as though we're complete. And so looking maybe to external resources to try and help us feel that sense of completion. But you get to complete a cycle whenever you feel like it, really, truly. It says experience relationship harmony and healing. And I'm getting a really like a tightening of the throat. So if there's something unexpressed you feel you need to clarify in some sort of relationship of yours, I highly recommend figuring out a way to do so, even if you need to have a boundary of not speaking to that person, if you can write it out. And definitely some singing, some celebrating. For some folks, I feel like you know that you have really strong feelings for someone and you're like getting ready to tell them, and there's like an excitement, but a questioning of whether or not you're in the right. Yeah, interesting. But the thing is, feelings need to come to the surface at some point or other. That's just how they work. So the El Moria is awakening presence. It says the universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. So as much as I can say some of this group is talking about love, a lot of this is also about the inner battle. So most things to do with our relationships are really just about what's going on inside of ourselves. And that is something that I see constantly true. Whenever I work with clients, it really feels as though I'm always drawn to speak more to their own healing and their own relating to themselves, but also to the external world, rather than focusing on that other person. So I may do a reading where you see, okay, one side, the shared energy, and then the other side. But all of the support when you're hearing about the other side is really just how can you manage your side of this situation? That's all we really have control over. So awakening presence. This feels as though someone is getting calls to step up. So stepping up in their career and in a leadership fashion. Definitely feeling the negotiating power. I wonder if there's been some other ways of making money that did not suit your heart and your spirit before. And now you're actually saying, I've got to make a change. My life has to look different. So it might be focusing on a new career, or it might be focusing less on career for a time so that you can rebalance yourself and care about what's actually truly important to you. Because often we work and earn money so that we can do certain things in life. And those certain things, if we're not doing them consistently, then we can feel really disconnected to our work and to our purpose in general. So we go in and we sort of say, oh, what's the point? Or for a lot of us this year, many people have not been working. And so you may be feeling like you're grasping to try and get a stable sense of income, when really you're being asked to hold back and actually hone in on what's more important. Hold back and hone in. Okay, then we have finding sanctuary. I love this. I love that it's sort of like a castle in the clouds. So maybe that's a connection, Castle in the Clouds, a Les Miserables song, Les Miserables. It says opening to your spiritual source. Yeah, so this is just like awakening presence, right? Opening up to that spiritual source. So if you are one of these people who are thinking, oh yeah, talking about lacking morals, or not really knowing mine, or not speaking my truth, or negotiating ego, putting material gains over self-empowerment, all those different things that came up in that. If you're saying, oh, I'm doing a little bit of that, then open up to that spiritual connection that you know you have. Sometimes the people who are running the hardest away from themselves are the people who are ready to come back. I don't know if you've ever found that sometimes when you've really, really felt disconnected from yourself, then one thing happens and it just boomerang, like slingshots you back to yourself. Then we have surrendering to the journey. It says release control. And is that not something that all of us have been focusing on this year in some way? Releasing control. This is again about not controlling your circumstances, not acting like you have to figure everything out, not acting like you're the boss, but also knowing You're the creator. So really surrender, release control, accept that the best things are happening. They're on the way. They're in the horizon. I see this lantern on this boat in that card that really feels like you've got the light. You know that you're headed in the right direction, but you're still going like, oh, it's so murky out there. I'm not sure. I can't see. I'm going to try another few things before I really follow my path. And I would love to know what's holding you back. It's an interesting thing. I'm hearing a lot about bravery. I'm hearing a ton about bravery. And okay, how to get through that, fellow travelers. Support is all around you. So if you're feeling like you're on an island, you are not. You are not. You are not. If this resonates with you, it's resonating with me in parts of my personal journey. And so at least we're shared in this. So if any part of this resonated with you, please know I feel you. Okay. Support is all around you. I also am hearing you need to ask to be lifted up. There's some sort of, yeah, it feels like this is contrary to advice that I would often give, actually. It feels like you need to ask someone to lift you up as if you were like in a chair, or it's like it's something like crowd surfing, like lifting you up. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's maybe happened to someone recently, or someone's lifted them up, or maybe they saw someone else and they were like, I wish that was happening to me. Maybe it's just a feeling of, you feel like if you let other people in, then they would lift you up. So it could also be a really, really much more symbolic of, if you ask other people to support you, you may feel as though you can just release that control, let yourself go, like body surf or crowd surf. Anything really, any surfing. I think I have surfing on the mind. I've been seeing a lot of windsurfers lately. And I just find it so fascinating. It's very, very interesting. They go so fast, some of them. Okay. Our angel cards. First, we have intention. I really feel like this card is also telling us to just remain open, to set intentions, to really feel like we can actually think forward, act forward, and do the thing. Feels like there's been so much hesitation in the collective lately, which is fair because we've had changing circumstances around ourselves, but a lot of the folks watching this will know what it is they're meant to be doing, and you're resisting it in some way. And so set the intention that you're actually going to deal with it, and then act with integrity. Really honor your own needs first and put yourself first. That's how you self-empower, right? That's how you feel empowered, and how you feel light is putting power into yourself, acting forward. Manifestation. So if you've been following anything in the spiritual community, you may find that law of attraction stuff is becoming a lot quieter, and there's good reason for that. There's many other spiritual laws, and so to balance only on one really doesn't make sense. Manifesting really is about being in your true power, your true self, accepting that good things are going to happen, remaining open, listening to your intuition. It's a lot of push, pull, surrender, but action at the same time, right? But it needs to feel aligned, needs to feel guided. Okay, and then our last card, new love. So maybe this story, parts of it resonates with you, and you've actually got a new love on the way, and how nice for you. And for a lot of us, it's actually a renewed love, either with ourselves or newly expressed to another. It really feels like there's a strong romantic pull throughout this. So I would love to know what happens in the next few weeks. It does feel like only a few weeks here for the folks who are invested here. And maybe it's you, maybe it's the other person, but someone needs to speak up, and there is an intention already made. Like, it's very clear that there's already change happening, and this is just about really opening up the heart and then accepting more intuitive guidance. So really feeling as though you're opening yourself up to that source, like we were talking about before. I think the surrendering to the journey piece is really critical at this time. But I would hate to say that without also saying surrendering to the journey means taking action. Um, so to release control and to take action based on what you feel is the guidance right now. So no matter what happens, it's time to be brave and put the things first that you actually value. So if money is the thing that's at the forefront of your mind and is more important to you than anything, then keep putting money first. If money is the thing that allows you to live a different way, then think about what those things are and step towards that now. You know, don't be waiting for more to come in. You have everything you need right now to at least step towards it. So I hope this resonated with you. I'd love to hear it. Felt like a very strong message today. And yeah, I definitely got some out of it. And if you are interested in booking a personal reading, really looking at how I can focus more specifically on you and your story and bringing your higher self to you to speak through me, then you can click below and I have all the readings listed. And I also have a shop where I have a pendulum book and I'm doing a pendulum event coming up soon. So you can go check that all below as well. So take care, everyone, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are.